Good morning, everyone. A very good morning. Shall we start the session? Yeah, today's topic is the rules, regulation that we follow for the procedure that we follow for the whole inoperability. So first is the debater, the side that supports the side that supports the subject. So sorry, is known as affirmative, and the side that does not is known as a negative. So we can say the opposition. And each team should prepare its arguments, carefully decide what points to be considered, what points to be taken care of, that is covered by each and every speaker. Consult the students' books, prepare the notes or the cards, and anticipate the opponent views. Each debater's speech should be a good example of the school arguments, and it is better practice to establish 4 to 5 solid points that to list the catalogs of the points. So whatever the catalog that is considering out, so that debaters will be used as an affirmative, that side will be used, not the negative one. And each time team should prepare its argument carefully, decide what all points should be covered, what all consult books will be covered, prepare the notes or the cards. And each debater speech should be one of the good example of the sound arguments. That is one of the best practice or the better practice to make or establish 4 to 5 solid points that to list or then to list a catalogs of the point. So whatever the catalogs that they're charging out, so they will be used up with the cards or the notes and anticipates the argument. Anticipates the opponent's view. Not the argument we can say, but in terms of the arguments, yeah, that can be a different view. Then procedure is chairman announces the topic, introduces the speakers, explain any time limit, and announces the judge's decision. So whatever the chairman announced, that announce the topic, introduces the speakers, explains any time breaks, and also announces the judge's decisions. In the meantime, the debater speaks in this order, that is first affirmative, first negative, second affirmative, second negative. And the first speaker for this affirmative makes a rebuttal. That makes rebuttal in the sense that makes the judge's decisions, that introduces with any time limits, and also announces in this order only, that is the first affirmative, first negative, second affirmative, second negative. The next is the judgment. So decision is given to the side that has more efficiently presented and refuted the arguments. Yeah, that depends on the chairperson also, we can say. So that depends, that has more efficiently presented and refuted the arguments. Then stage number 4 is oral presentation of the speeches. That follows with a simpler or a similar process to writing. And these are the steps that is necessary for this effective speaking. First is prepare an oral presentation, select a topic, carry out a research, make an outline, make notes, practice. So practice means, yeah, that we have discussed yesterday also. Plan out the effective and the interesting openings, and practice often in front of those who can offer constructive criticism. Then speak clearly. Delivery. Delivery includes a good posture, relaxed tense, avoid mannerism that may distract, use enthusiasm or confidence to control the attention. Now, independence, creativity, and the self-reliance are facilitated with the self-criticism and also self-evaluation are the basic part. And that also plays a vital role or pivotal role in the development of the research skills. Again, there are two components, evaluation components. One is the ongoing component, one is a review component. While the activity is happening, teachers and students evaluate the process in the project. Which type of process we can say? That any type of process, the students will inform that evaluates the process along with this project. Then review component. So after the assignment is complete, teachers and the students also identify the strengths, needed improvement, and the transferability of the activity. And following examples should provide the ideas for implementing both components, we can say. And any teaching strategy that will help the students make greater progress in learning, that can be used as an evaluation technique. And these tools may be used for evaluation, that may be observation, that may be a journal or a daily log, that may be a checklist, that may be a student self-evaluation, incidental code, sorry, NC total record, conferences, interviews, correcting material, questionnaires. Now, let's move to the next part, where that is the journal or the daily log. So, students record the activities, whatever activities they have for the social studies period, and also evaluate their own progress. They might also express opinions about activities or the topics, and teachers can use this information to draw conclusions about the subject student understanding and to plan for the future specific or appropriate activity. Now today we bought labels from home. We made a neat chart that showed where things came from. There was not very much under the Canada that I wonder where robots are or robots are made. And from the above general entry, the teacher may conclude that the student did understand the activity. It must it might also indicate to the teacher that will follow up activity, such as finding out where the students will facilitate or where the students will play the favorite toys that have been made. That would be, we can say, the more motivating. And the collection of the samples of work design produced by the students can also serve as a profile of the student sequential growth and development. And to be very useful, the material should be, or material must be dated. That must be dated with the concise material that can serve as a profile of the student sequential growth. The next is a checklist that can be used at various stages to evaluate the achievements of objectives. They can be used to monitor the student's progress or to serve as a record of concepts and skills that is introduced, developed, tested, and maintained. And students can be observed as they are working by themselves or they are work as a part of their group. And various sample checklists are also provided. Teachers should modify these to meet the objectives of the unit, whatever the objective they are carried out, as well as to meet the needs of the students, whatever the need that they have. So checklist means checking out the students' progress or the meeting out the students' progress, monitor the students' progress to serve as a record of the concepts and the skills introduced, developed, tested, and maintained. Then next is group effectiveness appraisal form. Name, group, project title, audience. So rate your grouping on the basis of 1 to 5. 1 is poor, fair, good, very good, excellent. So we worked cooperatively with all the group members that we accomplished what we set out to complete. And we were satisfied with our performance of this group task also, that were used with the group time efficiently without wasting or misusing the time. And we all contributed fairly in the completion of this group task. And we all contributed fairly in the completion of this group task. Next is the personal assessment and the observations. So did you feel satisfied with own participation in the project? Discuss your feelings. And whether the project participation are the ways of fairly equal, that is each group worked well, or there is a partiality among these groups and contributed fairly. And do you think that there are some ways your group could have improved or thereby produce a better finished product, or there are some honestly work going on that is going on with the project? And if there is any helpful comment that you think of, that you may think of, so then add that additional comments also. And this is the student or the sample activity plan that will be used for the most appropriate for the students from grade 4 to 6. And this is also in the copy ready form. My research activities are very easily with difficulty. Using my planning skills, I understand the topic very easily or with difficulty. I made up a research questions. I suggested the possible information sources. Again, there are 3 points: very easily, and with difficulty. Then I chose my questions, whatever the question that I've chosen out. Then I developed the research plan. Research plan is also used that will be more comfortable in the planning skills. Next is using my information retrieval or information retrieval skills. Identify the source of information in the school, in the community. Information processing skill that may include the gather and organize the information, discover the information that I did not know before, answered the questions, edited my work, then sharing skills, presented the skills, evaluation skill that is carried out with the action plan, that I have learned the following skills which can be used right in either one of the activities or other activities. That is a peer evaluation or a presentation, speech. Then once comfortable or when students feel comfortable providing feedback to each other, so there is a less structured approach that can be used. That can be used as an awareness exercise with the students. And when the students feel comfortable providing feedback, so less structured approach can be used because everyone is comfortable with the speech or the feedback that is getting out. So give an interesting introduction is very good, satisfactory and the poor, presented a clear explanation of the topic, presented information in the acceptable format or order. Use complete sentences. Yes, this is also a part of the, we can say, the copy ready forms to do that ready, and we can also only put the 3, 2 and the 1. Then maintain the eye contact, maintain acceptable posture, maintain in the interest of the class, and use the audio visual aids well, handle questions and comments from the class. Then this chapter is also relevant from the classroom side also, that is, solutions are provided by the plethora teachers, and they came to understand or come to understand their own search process through the guided use of the information from elementary school through high school. And they also learned that the thinking, reflecting and mulling are also an important part of learning from information. That uncertainty is not only okay, that is only the beginning of each and every learning part. They take the initiative, they find out, and responsibility for telling the others. These are the basic building skills at the information age. These skills will be required for telling or for you the responsibility for to tell others also. How do we guide the students? How do we move from the general principles to the chapter and the curriculum framework that will give for the chapters within the classroom of the chapter 4 and 5 and 6? That provides true and tried research skills in different subjects and in different division levels. Some examples, yes, we already discussed about the research stages, but the main concentration is on developing the students' independence. Yes, in the use of certain skills. So just wait. So shall we start right now? Next topic is from the division 1 from the classroom of. These are the various, we can say, the live examples or the case studies that have a different teachers have a different opinion about the teaching and the teaching learning strategies. So whosoever has spent 20 years of teaching experience that they maintain, so she is a part-time gifted program teacher. One of the example, then part-time resource room teacher and part-time teacher librarian. Planning is that this activity was cooperatively planned by the teacher librarian and the teachers, and the classroom teachers read the several animal stories and the factual books with the students. And they let the student or children brainstorming test of the greetings, animals and the animal sounds. Children develop the sentence patterns. Now these are various categories that will be fulfilled by the various objectives. Now what is the main objective? So the students will locate basic information about an animal by examining the pictures, drawings or using the keywords. Then organize the information in appropriate categories. That category may be different with different strategies, and also report the information through the pictures and the sentence writing. And each pair of the students selected an item from a list. They were asked to prepare the following practices or project to be evaluated. And these three sentences, each on a separate page, that depends on the appearance, that depends on the habitat and the food. That poem based on the form is used with the children's view with the Dana poem, and the birth announcement complete with the picture of the babies or the mothers, and they are evaluated on the oral reading of their birth to the teacher librarian and on the final product. And they were also introduced to have a concept of editing. So they were asked to prepare the following practices that is to be evaluated. That makes a sentence structure, that makes a separate page with an illustration, illusion that depicting the appearance, habitat, and the food. And they are also introduced with the concept of the editing, how to edit the concept, or how to edit the page that were introduced for the following habitat material. They will locate the basic information about an animal by examining the pictures, using the keywords, organize the informations, repeat that information again and again for the sentence structure for pictures. The next level is the introductory level, then research stages are the all emphasis on the information retrieval. This is stage number 4, information retrieval, that provides opportunities, how these will be conducted, how these will be possible for the day-to-day activity with the suggested list. The students with teacher and the teacher librarian guidance also brainstorm and categorize the students for questions about the animals to limit the research to appearance, habitat, and the food. And the field trip will be given to the zoo, provided an opportunity for the student or children to visit the animals to be studied out. And during that tour, the students map the general entries also around the zoo. And after returning from this activity, student also brainstorm various questions. Brainstorming, rephrasing the various questions, what are questions that they have heard but they have not resolved, anything that they have to maintain. So they brainstorm the questions to find out or help them out to find out a particular animal. And they also studied about the pictures, skimmed, and the readout checks or text that they look for keywords and also took the brief notes. But the major portion is given was completed in the one class only. And they also recalled the information from the zoo, and videos and the film strips were used at the beginning of each and every session that looks like that there will be a completion or one part will be completed more about the research activities. Then videos and the film strips were also used at the beginning of each and every session. The next part is information processing, that is carried out with the information from the pictures to the forward to the written material, written form, and also reordered or recorded that keywords also. That keywords will be recorded to form that will be translated to form a picture, that will be translated to form a guidance. And they also make the notes that were written as a short reports divided into sections on the appearance and habitat and the food, and then students were given the sentence pattern to follow. Then they also are given what activities that they develop their own sentence, either in the recording material, either in the structure from the notes. So what they take out from the notes, what they carried out from the notes. And yes, both are helping out with each other, the teachers and the parents, that they read the three baby animals books to small groups. And they also gather that what the information or what they required for that, this information. That is the number, size, and the special name. Next part is information sharing. That whatever the work that is included out, that includes the notes, that includes a poem and the birth announcement, whatever are made into the booklet. That means everything is in the written record that was read to or one of the teacher. And these booklets were then displayed on the bulletin board or the notice board at the discrete office. Then students can share their first work first with the teacher and then with the teacher librarian with a small group of fellow students also. And all the related work including the notes, poem, birth announcement that will be given in the booklet. Then stage number 5 is evaluation. That evaluates or emphasis are placed on raising the students' self-esteem and also focus on the positive results. And they also, or evaluation is also an ongoing procedure that carrying out at each and every stage to ensure that the students reach their adequate reinforcement in the guidance. So whatever the guidance, whatever the procedure that they're carrying out, they occurs at each and every stage to ensure the students with the received enforcement or with the received guidance. The next is from the classroom of the HOD minds who have 14 years of the teaching experience. That is the teacher librarian and the red deer and the teaches grade 4 language arts. So stage number 1 is the planning. Also takes 1 week. That was cooperatively planned by the teacher librarian and the teachers. That were introduced for the fairy tales through a discussion of the prior knowledge or the prior discussions that were introduced with the information of the historical background of the folk literature. That may be of the 2 weeks, that may be for the 2 weeks, that may be for the 4 weeks, that depends on the environment to environment, that depends on the student to student data structure we can see. Now look at this picture. This picture shows that they are looking at the projector, they are looking at the picture, so they are fairly tales with the classroom activities. And because the school has no teacher librarian,